Let's talk about 12 Angry, all the presidents, scratch that, a few good men. Aaron Sorkin came out the gate with an impressively quotable drama, whether it's Tom Cruise playing the perfect
snotty little bastard,
or Jack Nicholson just being Jack. At the heart, there's a court case that evokes strong opinions on all sides, and Sorkin-y dialogue that moves at lightning speed.
Sounds good. Let's move on.
This movie is a cornerstone for how to compel an audience. So let's hop into why A Few Good Men is perfect. Let's set the stage. Two Marines, Guantanamo Bay, and a now dead soldier on the receiving end of a code red. Who's to blame? Cut to Lieutenant Daniel Caffey, a hotshot Nepo baby defense lawyer. He's witty.
Thank you, sir.
Chill.
Nothing to be sorry about, Sherby. You just looked the ball into your glove.
And wears a Red Sox cap. Respect. Then there's Lieutenant Commander Joanne Galloway, who is always pushing Caffey to do more.
I'm gonna talk to your supervisor.
As the trial unfolds, Caffey and his team find themselves up against not just the prosecution, led by
Smiling Jack Ross,
but also the formidable Colonel Nathan Jessup. Bouncing from courtroom to Caffey's living room, the case takes you through twists and turns to keep you guessing, arriving at an unforgettable climax that leads to one of the best delivered lines in all of cinema.
You can't handle the truth!
The truth is, Jack, I love this movie. Let's talk about the cast. You've got Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, Kevin Bacon, Demi Moore, J.T. Walsh, Kevin Pollak, Kiefer Sutherland, and supporting appearances by Noah Wyle, Cuba Gooding Jr., and Christopher Guest.
No.
Tom Cruise as Caffey is gold. This is the pre-Mission Impossible Cruise, oozing that hungry movie star energy.
I beg your pardon?
He's a cocky, reluctant hero who doesn't take anything seriously until he absolutely has to.
Oh, come on. That was damn funny.
Cruise was built for this type of role and carries the audience in a journey from apprentice to master with his courtroom prowess. And then there's Demi Moore as Galloway. She has the undeniably difficult role of saying this line and making it sound like something a human might say.
If this case is handled in the same fast food, slick-ass Persian bazaar manner with which you seem to handle everything else, then something's gonna get missed. And I wouldn't be doing my job if I allowed Dawson and Downey to spend any more time in prison than absolutely necessary because their attorney had predetermined the path of least resistance.
That's a mouthful. Her dynamic with Cruise is fantastic. Half mentor, half thorn in his side. Mini spoiler alert, shield your mind real quick. There is no romantic subplot to this movie, which in my mind rightfully puts all the attention on the intricacies of the dialogue and plot movement. Kevin Bacon, I mean, come on, just look at him. All bacony and whatnot. He, in my opinion, steals every scene from Cruise. There's that moment where Tom gets angry. I mean, very angry.
You're a lousy softball player, Jack!
And Bacon meets him with the most cool, calm, and collected response.
The boys are going down, Danny. I can't stop it anymore.
Kevin Pollak is the reluctant, sensible friend and coworker of Cruise, always there to deliver the quick, witty retorts.
I have no responsibilities here whatsoever.
You can't forget that time Jessup singles out Pollak's character completely out of the blue.
You, Lieutenant Weinberg!
Harsh. Speaking of Jessup, Jack. Oh, Jack. Jack Nicholson oozes so much charisma he can't turn it off.
No problem.
There isn't a scene he's in that isn't lit up by his dialogue.
And I'm going to blame you. Then I'm going to kill you.
He plays that villain you just have to see go down.
I need to shake him, put him on the defensive, and lead him right where he's dying to go.
J.T. Walsh is a commanding counterpart to Jack Nicholson that truly holds his own.
I think Santiago should be transferred off the base immediately.
He is the only military member willing to stand up and challenge Jessup. And how do you think that goes?
Don't ever question my orders in front of another officer.
Kiefer Sutherland has a minor but a solid role as Kendrick.
Yes, sir.
The guy who says this.
Private Santiago is dead, and that is a tragedy. But he is dead because he had no code. He is dead because he had no honor, and God was watching.
A little heartless, but well delivered. Wolfgang Bodison was literally Rob Reiner's assistant. They were struggling with casting the role of Dawson, and finally were like, we need someone like Wolfgang. Considering that's the case, he's really good.
Ten hut!
There's an officer on day.
Aaron Sorkin wrote this movie on cocktail napkins while he worked as a bartender. And when his sister told him about a real case she was involved in with a collection of Marines unintentionally hurting a fellow soldier through a code red, he saw the spark. Taking that and a sprinkle of inspiration from True Believer, unconfirmed but hypothesized, he put together this masterpiece. Sorkin was mentored by the genius William Goldman, the man responsible for such works as All the President's Men, The Princess Bride, and Marathon Man. Not a bad person to show you the ropes of screenwriting. Sorkin writes in a musical way.
Cupid see an officer wearing white. They think it might be someone they want to take a shot at. Good call, Sam.
Where the lines flow into each other with a specific rhythm.
Transfer the marks inside. It's phony. Jessup's statement that the 6 a.m. flight was first available is a lie. We're checking the tower chief's log.
Can I get you something?
I'd like a beer, please.
Even actions are played out to follow the same rhythmic beats.
Galloway with internal affairs.
The attention to detail is astounding. Remember that scene where Kathy is drunk as a skunk?
Are you drunk?
Pretty much. Yeah.
He freaks out at Galloway
Should we or should we not follow the advice of the galactically stupid?
and has a heartfelt moment with Sam. But then they go after Galloway a few minutes later because she's walking away in the rain. In your honest opinion, who should drive? The man who had one swig? Or the man who is plastered? The plastered one, obviously. But not just that, let's put Sam in the passenger seat to make it even weirder. The first words out of Galloway's mouth should have been, why didn't Sam drive? Then there's the line where Kathy irritatingly jumps at Galloway.
Did she put you up to this?
I don't know what it is about how Demi Moore delivers this line.
No.
But it just always felt odd. Just me? I never caught the steak knives callback. Early on, like in the introduction to the characters, Kathy one-offs.
One more, I get a set of steak knives.
Then an hour later, Galloway says,
I'm sorry I lost your set of steak knives.
I'm not even kidding. I didn't know what she meant by that comment for years. I don't know why the way Downey says Hal makes me laugh.
Hal?
Whenever times get tough,
Hal?
it's hard not to just start saying it.
Hal?
If you know, you know, you know? At one point, Downey does a surprise 180 in the courtroom. And I don't know what it is about it, but my friend and I isolated it and sent it to each other all the time. There are times in Tom Cruise's movies where he becomes what I like to call Squeaky Tom. This is one of those times.
You and Dawson, you both live in the same dream world. It doesn't matter what I believe. It only matters what I can prove. So please, don't tell me what I know and don't know.
I know the law!
My entire family quotes this line. I literally have it as a sticker in the center of my guitar. Too far?
You don't like me very much, do you?
Despite being released in 1992, it doesn't feel dated at all. It raises thoughtful questions about authority, justice, and the moral responsibility we all struggle with.
Markinson's gone. There is no Markinson.
It taps into something fundamental about human nature, the need to balance loyalty and ethics, and the difficulty of standing up to power.
They're not guilty.
I can't really think of an actor that embodies power and intimidation like Jack.
You don't want the truth because deep down in places you don't talk about at parties, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Maybe Christopher Lee. There's an underlying message about the truth that is inescapable.
I want the truth!
There are aspects to our world where the truth is something we might prefer to bury our heads from. Jessup makes a good point to the fact
That Santiago's death, while tragic, probably saved lives.
in any great piece of writing, every character is the hero of their own story. And that is true of this one. There are no villains, well, except the doctor, who is literally to blame for the entire death.
I personally give each man a thorough physical examination.
If he didn't mistakenly give Santiago a clean bill of health, he never would have been kept on base, and thus never would have died. Jessup should be yelling at him. Once the ruling is in, A Few Good Men proves itself to be the quintessential courtroom drama.
All rise.
With its perfect blend of top-tier performances, biting Sorkin writing, and morally complex questions,
It's your code.
the situation isn't cut and dry, and every viewer will probably come up with a different resolution they'd prefer. I've seen this movie at least 100 times and can't get enough of it.
You said I could be Markinson and you wouldn't know it.
Are you Markinson?
It's one where the movie is so quotable,
Doing various administrative things.
the more you watch it, the more you find little quotes that no one could possibly know where it's from. And that's why A Few Good Men is perfect. Have you seen it? Which line is the most iconic? How do you think Tom Cruise pulled off Danny? Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.